Hello there, Apple Biteies. This is your Apple Bite Raphael Tavares talking to you straight from our show here, The Written Writ, a show where you and I and you take a journey together to become better writers. Yes, we are back. We are Written Writ Wednesdays, or Wednesdays with Written Writ, or what is it, Late Write? And today I'm flying solo, no shadow rabbit to be seen. Feel better, my brother, feel better. And I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but the Tragedy trailer has dropped, and a certain smooth-voiced gentleman is on this trailer, and I wanted to share that with you. So let's do that right now. I'm gonna, oh, I see I have a little bit of myself going on over here, so maybe we should start with that. All right, so let's go to...
Looking at Rose as if it was looking through it. Tell me, Rose, what is it you desire?
As you can see, I am working on TikTok to do another type of storytelling over there, and we are working to do the whole let's write a story together. But this one I'm calling Choose Your Own Adventure, where I narrate, 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 narrate. Well, you know what I'm saying. Narrate something, and then you guys decide where the story goes from there. That's what that was right there. That wasn't the trailer to Tragedy, but it was something that I didn't want to talk about, which is me doing that on the TikTok. And of course, you guys know that we were doing the live version of that, where me and you and I were writing a story together. And we are going to get back to that as soon as we can. Most likely, because we had such a great flow on Saturdays, I will probably do that on Saturdays. Unless you guys want to do it at this hour, but I find that maybe some of you won't be on who were participating in the show when we were live on Saturdays. So, with that, let's move on to the next piece here, Bitten Apple. Yes, if you guys haven't seen the Bitten Apple page, here it is. Look at that. I'm live. Oh. Here's part 2. I guess we should go to part 2. And let's rewind this a little bit over here.
Rose looked at the gem and said, "Why do you speak to me in riddles? Why do you talk to me so? I have no idea where I am."
As you can see, I've been working the story. I decided to flesh it out. I also had a couple of things that people told me to add into it, so I started deciding to add it into it and see, what I can like change around. I'm enjoying making or creating this story. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a whole lot of fun actually. Sitting there and just writing this little TikTok thing that we're doing, because it gives me a chance to just be creative on the spot, you know, which is what usually happens. I just put the thing in front of me, get a couple of notes in front of me, and then just let it flow. Let it flow, let it flow. Ah, yes. I just let it flow. And of course, the challenges, I love the challenges. The challenges are always amazing. And I like challenging myself. It's one of the best things for me to do, especially if I have some kind of blockage when I'm writing, or I need to get I can't dive into the story that I'm working on at the moment. If I dive into a challenge, what will happen is it gets everything moving, everything percolating, because in the challenge I'm usually given like a word, a phrase, um writer's prompt. I'm given something that I end up having to work with to create the story from that, which is what we were doing in the live show. If, as you remember, we started off with a lot of people throwing things like the waitress, the PI, the detective, the villain, the father of the child, pancakes, vengeance, a diner, hires a PI, get into the underground bar. The waitress is a single mother with a secret life, and she has a child, and she's also the barmaid in the underground bar, where the bartender is an undercover god. Or is he a semi god or a half god? The question is there. Where are we going to go with it? And I was enjoying writing the live story with you guys, and I want to get back to that. Actually, I have the bits and pieces right here. As you can see, you know, all the nice bits and pieces. I also have other stories here, like Gem Hunter, which I'm working on um working on which Game of Tunes. Yes, Game of Tunes. Great art, bunch of nice guys. Also have here When Worlds Collide, which I was working on with Son of a. Yeah, it was a great versus type story thing, and I really enjoyed bringing his art to life and doing the stories behind why the characters were fighting. It really got me being creative. I had a lot of fun with it. I created my own villains for the whole thing, and I really enjoyed the whole Son of a and Writ collab, because hey, who wouldn't like to take some characters that they love and play in that box, just writing stories for them. Yeah, look at all these beautiful notes. As a writer, we take a lot of notes, and here's some notes for Hugbert and a bunch of other little things going on over here. Of course, you guys know Hugbert, and since Shadow Rabbit is not here, I'll bring in his representation of the work he's done, because there is Hugbert, and he is my superhero teddy bear, who I am working on at the moment to bring to life in a book, or a comic book, or storybook. What will it be? Will it be all of them? Who knows? But you gotta love my superhero teddy bear, because he is the hero with the Firo, or Zero, Miro, Liro. That's a lot of rhyming. But I love what Shadow Rabbit has done. He did a fantastic job with my creation there. And if you guys want your own thing, you can commission Shadow Rabbit to do your thing. You can just need to tell him what's in your little minds, and he'll bring what's in your mind to life. It is amazing to watch Shadow Rabbit work. And he's even been working on these little diorama type things that, showcasing covers and all that stuff. So if you guys get a chance, check out Shadow Rabbit. If you also get a chance, check out Son of Saint. He has amazing art, and you can check out the whole Versus series that we did together on his page, as well as on my page. The Written Writ. You can either find Son of Saint, or you can find Written Writ, and you'll see the stories there. I even did a voiceover for one of his stories. And a while back, we did a collab where we had a double challenge, and I did my part and he did his part, and we put it together to see what happened. And it was interesting how it flowed together, and the character and the story actually were very similar to each other. So with that, now we can go and look for the trailer for Tragedy, which is Phil's new book, which is going to Kickstarter on May 18th. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, that's right. You can't see what I'm doing back here behind the scenes because I haven't added it to the thing. Silly me. So this is what I'm working on while I'm talking to you. I'm going through the thing. I ran into this Disturbed thing. It caught my attention. It looks really interesting. I love this animated art. They have a book about this character that is part of the, if I remember, the Dark Messiah. There you go. And that song was a blast, and I love that song. And I was like, hey, I got to check that out. Ah, there is my pal Dirk Manning, and he is showcasing Cafe Macabre there. If you guys like horror, you should check that out yourself. It's a nice little book with a lot of little bits and pieces of stories that you can check out, if I remember it right. And it's a Kickstarter right now too, as well. Yes, Ana Lucia Menezes. Oof. Yeah, I was sad to hear this. I've actually been enjoying some, especially I forgot the name of the character right now, but I've been watching it on Netflix, and it's a cute little series. I was enjoying season 1 and 2. All right, let's see, where are we? Oh, here we go. Now, if I click over here, it'll take us to YouTube, and here we go.
They took away all I held dear. They stole my life from me and made me their weapon.
All she wanted was to dance, to live a normal life.
They made me a killer.
Join Grace O'Connor in her journey to self-discovery as she battles her own inner demons as well as the mob. Her greatest battle will be against the enemy within. Will she finally find peace, or will they all rest in peace?
Hi, my name is Philip Russert, and I am the writer and creator of Tragedy. Tragedy is a gritty, action-packed character study of a young woman who feels trapped in a life she doesn't want. Readers will follow her journey of self-discovery while experiencing intense action scenes that last for pages. I'm proud of this book and the amazing talent attached to it. We have Will Spertasio, Ian Churchill, Larry Stroman, Sean Chen, Adelso Corona, Keith Williams, and more. Ricardo Silva and Sigmund Torrey bring the pages to life. I feel strongly that if you back this campaign, you won't be disappointed. Thank you for taking a look at my book Tragedy, and I hope you enjoy the experience.
As you can see there, I lent my voice to that beautiful trailer, and it was a nice piece to work on. I really enjoyed working on it. I love what he's doing with the book. He has a lot of amazing art out there. Working on this book, so many variant covers. I really can't wait to hold this book in my hand. Even though I've read the story, it's an amazing story, a great hero's journey. All the characters have a chance to get character growth, which is interesting. Because usually sometimes you get a book and the only person getting growth, or if there is anybody getting growth, is the main character. But you enjoy learning and finding out who all these characters are. You enjoy the fact that they are the villain, or they are the hero, or who is the hero, who is the villain. It's a very thin line between bad and good. And sometimes you sympathize with the villain, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you sympathize with the hero, sometimes you don't. He's done a really good balance of writing this, and he's already up to, like, in writing, just writing, not in the issues that are already made. He's already up to like issue 20, if I remember right, and he's just taken it and ran with it. And I really am enjoying seeing where this is going to go. I'm happy that I got a chance to read ahead of what you guys would read, and I highly recommend that you guys pick up this book if you like comic books. This feels like one of those classic comic books, classic crime noir comic books with great superheroes on it. And yeah, take a look at it, take a chance, watch the trailer a couple of times because you like the written Rit's voice coming off there in the background. Yes, I know. We are having fun. Ooh, lost audio. Didn't know that. I wonder wait, am I on audio now? So, Jose Perez. There we go. Hey, what's up, Jose Perez? Travel and root beer. Thanks for letting me know. I don't know if I have the audio now. I guess when I was muting to mute myself, I must have muted the everything. Which is bad when you don't have a partner because you can't hear what's going on. Cool, you finally went live. I really do appreciate it. Travel and root beer. I'm happy to see that you're here. And I like when you guys come on and you help me out and you talk to me. Yes, I am live. This is Written Writ, and I am here to talk to you guys about the fact that we are trying to make the Written Writ into Written Writ Wednesdays, or Written Writ whenever we have to be on. I do know that if we need to do an interview, I will bring the interview on whatever day of the week needs to be on. And I'll use the Written Writ to do that. Because usually I am talking to creative people, and the Written Writ is a creative show. We do talk about writing, but storytelling is the biggest aspect of the show, because we all working on storytelling, whether it's art or writing or all that. And I'm a big geek, and I just love all the geek tactic stuff, as you can see with my beautiful Captain America shield over there, and my Dirk Manning right and wrong right there. Or how about my Mike Burns thing right there? That's a fantastic Superman from Mike Burns thing. And of course, there is the story we are working on for the live. And there you have a superhero teddy bear, not Hugbert the superhero teddy bear. And of course, there's the Rays, which is interesting. I really like that energy drink because it actually helped me wake up, which is what you want in an energy drink. All right. So this weekend on Apple Bites, you will have Peace More. Yes, the MC, the party goer, the happiness, the excitement himself. Peace is going to be on the show with us, and we're going to be talking to Kelly Gordon, and we will be talking about MCon and all the beautiful stuff that is coming with that, which is, I think, the week after this, if I remember right. Don't hold me to that. If anything, I'll put it down in the comments down below, and I will make sure that you know what's happening and what's going on. Yes, I really did come on today to talk about the fact that where we're going with the Written Writ, what we're doing. I was hoping to have Shadow Rabbit with me to go back and forth, because I love talking to Shadow Rabbit. He's a blast. He's so much fun. I get to geek out. We get to talk comic books. We get to talk figures. We get to talk all the beautiful things that are geektastery or geekery or butt kickery. Because I love all things geek. So right now we know that Apple Bites will be on this weekend with Peace Moore and Kelly Gordon, and we'll be talking about MCon. You just saw me put up the tragedy trailer. You saw me do 2 of my TikToks from Choose Your Own Adventure, which is me having a story told and you deciding where that story goes. I don't know if you guys heard the audio on that. According to Travel and Root Beer, I think I lost the audio, so I might have to do that again. Or, I may have to like watch myself to see what the heck is going on. So hopefully I won't get any feedback over here when I do that. I have to like watch myself to see what the heck is going on. So hopefully I won't get any feedback over here when I do that. I have to like watch myself to see what the heck is going on. It's like infinity and beyond. Let me stop that before we continue down that path of well, at least I know that my audio is working at the moment. You guys, what do you guys think the show should be doing? Should we be going live on Wednesday nights like right now, late, right? Or should we be going on Saturdays? Or does it depend on what I'm doing? Because if I'm doing the storytelling, I feel like Saturday would be the best day because that's when we were doing it. 5 o'clock Saturday, you get the crowd coming in and out and we keep working on the story. I do know that if we have interviews that we're holding, then we will go on when we need to go on. But I'm looking at trying to have those interviews held on our show here at 11:30 on Wednesday nights. Late right. That way we can talk to people and you can hear what fascinating things they're up to. So I need you to tell me or help me with figuring these things out. I am enjoying doing late night because I am a night owl. Falling asleep is not my friend. It is very rare that I can sleep through the night or I am sleepy through the night. Let's see. Vincent Vlado. I haven't seen him in a while. He's telling you guys that you should check out his show, Sci-Fi Ninja Theater. It's on YouTube Roku channel, the B Movie TV channel, Saturdays at noon to 2 p.m. I believe you would like it. And that's what he said. So, Vincent, I'm happy to see you. There you go. I was wondering if you're still here. It's good to see you again. It's been a while since we see you. We usually run into you in the cons themselves. Yeah, it feels like ages since we've been doing anything. It's always a pleasure to run into you. It's always fun to get to talk to you for a bit and see what you're up to. I'm happy your show is still doing well. As I was saying, no problem, Vincent. As I was saying, we're trying to figure out how this show is going to go. I have an idea. I like the Wednesday night shows. I like the late night idea, just because I'm an insomniac. It's as simple as that. I do know that some people won't be able to come on Wednesday nights to do the interviews, but I know a lot of people will be able to come on. And if you know somebody that you think should come on to the show and talk to us, send them my way. Or if you want to come on and talk about what you have, come. We'll talk all the creative geekery that we can talk. I appreciate that, Vincent. I think you're awesome as well. And that's the whole thing. I really like the fact that I enjoy teaching or having this journey together to become better writers together because, just a short little intro to the Written Writ. The whole reason I decided to start the Written Writ was because I was reading all these books on how to write. As you can see behind me, many books on how to write. And I realized that there just was a step missing between the book teaching you how to write and you writing as a writer. And I'm looking at the Written Writ to fill in that gap that I am trying to do at the same time that you are trying to do. And we can do this journey together to become better writers together as we figure out how we write. What is our voice? What is our style of writing? It is a bunch of things that you need to figure out as you move on in this journey to become a better writer. And that's where the written writ comes from, in this need to be a better writer myself, and as well as help you guys become better writers if that's what you want, or just better creators. Or, because the one thing that I've learned over the years is the fact that, doing D&D, doing Vampire the Masquerade, all this stuff has helped me become the writer I am today. And I want to share that with you. And I want to bring on people who do D&D. I want to bring on people who do Vampire the Masquerade. We've done a couple of shows already with people that do Vampire the Masquerade, do Dungeons and Dragons. And we've talked about the creative process that comes along with doing these role-playing games. Because I have to say, one of the biggest things, one of the ways that I started to learn character creation was creating my personal characters as I was doing these campaigns in these games. It let me sit there, figure out what is the backstory of this character that I was playing. Vincent is saying, if I know how to work myself, I will be on your show. I appreciate it. I was just having a bunch of trouble myself with the show earlier. I'm usually used to having somebody along with me to help me out with this stuff. And he said that would be cool. But yeah, the whole thing is, as I've done the Dungeons and Dragons, as I've done the Vampire the Masquerade, as I've done all these role-playing games, being these different roles, or being these characters, and knowing who these characters are, and the whys and the whos and the whens, because you're going to go into this game and you want to know what's the motivation of your character, or who you're playing. You want to know why they are who they are, how have they gotten here. It makes it easier for the DM the more backstory you have, because they can pull from that backstory. And as you progress, as you become the dungeon master, you see how important it is for all your players to have their backstories, because even if you have your own story, you can pull from all these backstories to create the greater story. I appreciate that, Vincent, because I feel a little funny today, but that's just me being me. And who doesn't need some positive support when you're doing something? But as I was saying, I used all my experience through my life and all the stuff that I've done, whether it's the role playing or comic books, because comic books have been an incredible experience in my life. Storytelling through comic books. A lot of the vocabulary that I learned when I was younger came from comic books. I would read an issue of the Fantastic Four, and they were talking about nuclear this and astro that, and it was a moment of learning words that I wasn't exposed to regularly. I did get a lot of joshing and a lot of I guess bullying, for being a Spanish kid into comics, where at that time period, we weren't supposed to be in it. Again, cool. I like what you say. I appreciate that. And if you can see my collection is huge, and I keep worrying that something will happen to it. So I really feel like I might liquidate it really soon. I just need to. It's like a second job. It's so many books. And I want to really go through them and see what I have and enjoy them one last time before I decide to, liquidate them. Because the last thing I want is for something to happen, like a flood or a storm or fire, and then I lose all those books. It would be so sad. I'd rather somebody else enjoy them as I've enjoyed them all these years. And again, as soon as I started reading comic books, I was very young when I did. I don't remember anymore. And the first time I picked up comic books, it was one of those 3-packs. I remember that one of the books was a Wonder Woman book. I can't tell you what the other 2 books were, but I do remember that one of the books was a Wonder Woman book, and it really grafted onto me. It really affected me, and from then on, I started to pick up more and more books. I actually teamed up with my cousin. Hey Ralph, how you doing? Because we started collecting together. It made it easier because you could pull your resources together and collect more books, and then you can just trade the books and read them at your leisure. For a while there, a lot of the books were in his house, and then as I got older, some I started to get to keep certain books, GI Joes, whatever it was that I was interested in. I think he was more interested in the mutant books. I was more interested in the Spider-Man, the Captain America, the Spider-Man, Captain America, GI Joe, all these like heroes, which is funny because I started with DC, of course, the Wonder Woman book, and then I moved on to Marvel. I really enjoyed the Marvel universe, especially Spider-Man, because I felt, well, look at this teenage kid, and he's going through all these problems like I am, yet he's trying to be this heroic figure, and it was something for me to aspire to. I hate haters, but we need them so we can make ourselves better. I completely agree. If it wasn't for the haters, I would not be where I am right now. I can tell you that much. I My passions have become more ignited the more haters I've had, which is a strange thing to say, but I don't do well with authority. There's something for me to tell you guys. I have a problem with authority. I don't do well with authority. I make up my own mind, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. But I understand that I am this way, and I try to work with it. I am a team player. I like playing well with others in a team to be creative, to do things. That's how I ended up in the Bitten Apple, trying to bring New York and comics and all geekery to you. So we take a bite out of all of that and share it with you and let you know how it tastes, which is what the Bitten Apple is. The Bitten Apple is taking a bite out of everything and coming to you and letting you know how it tastes and sharing with you. So where was I? We were down by the comics after doing the reading of how to write. So I guess where we start off, and I know if you guys have been watching the show for a while, my first writing experience, was writing my detective character, Maximus T. Jones. And I love detective stories. I love mysteries. I love detective noir. Uh, I just enjoy that whole thing. Of course, as you can tell up here, I have my Sherlock Holmes, and I started reading that when I was a kid. I started with Encyclopedia Brown. If you guys can remember Encyclopedia Brown, I started with him, and that led me to, let's see, it was Encyclopedia Brown. It was what's that chick's name? uh, Nancy Drew, which is funny because I read a lot of the Nancy Drew books, and that led to more detective, and I ended up reading the Sherlock Holmes, and it was amazing to me. And then I wanted to write my own type of detective, and of course, it was a noir detective, and Maxie was a classic detective. I do feel like I based a lot of him on Magnum PI because I don't know. Even back then, when I was a younger teenager person, I had the mustaches, and a mustache was coming in pretty young. um, yeah, I think Maxie had a lot of was based a lot in Magnum, Thomas Magnum. Let's see what Vincent says here. I was into Japanese stuff from the 60s. I was 6 in the 60s. People thought I was strange. I got into a lot of fights. I painted my boots silver. And it blew people's minds. I know what you mean, brothers, because I was out there. I had my superhero stuff. I would go to school with it, and I get picked on. I would find my geek brothers and sisters, but it was always a little secret thing that you did because anytime you were out in the open, you were picked on. And it's so weird for me now, the way things are now with comics and sci-fi, and it's so out in the open. Comic-Con has changed so much from when I first started going. It was more about the comics. It was more about the writers, the artists. Now it's turned into this whole thing about the movies, about not that it's bad. I love all that stuff, and it's all part of being a geek. But it's really amazed me how accepting it is now. How it's become this thing, that everybody does now. Especially after being beat up all those years, yeah. All right, so we were at Encyclopedia Brown and Nancy Drew, and yes, I loved my detectives, and my first writing experience was trying to write Max E.T. Jones. I think I still have the stories I wrote about Maxie. They're around here somewhere, because as a writer, all we have is the notes and books, as you saw before when I was showing you all the notes that I have for the stuff we are doing, and the stuff there's notes in there for shows that I haven't even done yet, for the written writ. And that's another thing, as I'm here asking you guys, what is it that you guys want to see us cover here in the written writ? We have covered a lot of things before, and I know that there's talk that you guys want me to recover certain things that I have covered. I know that you guys still want to see more character creation, world creation, because these are all interesting. All these things are intensive, and when you're writing, it's what helps you become a better writer. And I know what you're telling me, Ralph. I want to write, but I'm not a writer. All you need to do is write to become what you want to do. In other words, if you write, you will become a writer. But you need to write. You need to make sure that you write and you write and you write. And I can't say that enough, because I know it sounds like, okay, Ralph, you're telling us all we need to do is write. All you need to do is write. Just start writing. Just start putting your thoughts on paper, whether it's a journal, whether it's a list. Here's a little list of the stuff that I wanted to talk about while I was here on the show with you guys. It helps. It doesn't sound like it helps, but it helps. Every list you write, every journal entry you make. A lot of the times people ask me, what do I write about? I'm like, you write what you know. And I know you're telling me, oh, Ralph, but that's boring. It's not boring. You think it's boring, but there's so much to our lives. There's so much stuff that happens. These stories that have happened to us, other people, if you tell them the stories and you tell them with some flair, or you just sit down and work your writing so you can tell the story that you want to tell, it's all possible. You will have an audience. There will be somebody that likes what you're writing. And in the end, we should be writing for ourselves. We should be writing to entertain ourselves. This is a story I want to tell, which is what I do all the time. I want to tell a story. I'm going to write that story because I want to know what the story is and what I want to do with that story. Let's see. I hate Comic-Con now. They don't like me. It's not as much fun as before. I like the more underground cons. They more appreciate you. I agree with you. Comic-Con has become an interesting thing. I enjoy going still. It's an experience, but it's not what it used to be. I can tell you that much. It is definitely not what it used to be. But as I was saying, the whole thing is to write. Just write. I can't say that enough, and I feel like I oversay it sometimes, but I get the same questions over and over, so I'm going to give you the same answers over and over. And the whole thing is, as I tell you the answer, it will become a bigger answer, and I'll get more explaining, exploratory, more thorough. There you go with my answer, because as a writer, what you need to do is write, and that's all it is. And it's funny, and I know you're telling me, okay, Ralph, you're saying this whole writing thing, but I'm saying it because one of the things that happens is that you and I lose points of time where I can actually be writing, when I can actually be doing something with my writing. And what you want to do is not lose those points. If I'm on the train, I will pull out a piece of paper. I'll start writing something. If I don't pull out a piece of paper, which is my preferred choice, I'll pull out my phone and I'll start writing the story there. I have OneNote, which goes from my phone to my computer to it goes through everything, and I like that because I can start a story here and then I can go home and do this if I want, or I'll just work on the paper for a while, and then it all integrates into each other. I do know that when I write on paper, I have to put it back into wherever I'm putting it into, and then that's a little bit of a chore, but at the same time it helps me because sometimes I'll edit from here to there. And that always helps out because editing is not as easy as it sounds, which is why sometimes writers will hire an editor to do it for them. But there are times where you're gonna have to look at your work and decide what needs to go, what needs to stay, what makes the story flow, what works, what doesn't work. There is so much about writing, and I don't feel like I've covered everything about writing. I just don't know which way to go. Usually what happens is if I'm having an issue with a story that I'm writing on, then I'll think, okay, let me discuss this on the show, because if I'm having a problem, then probably somebody else is having a problem. And that's the way I was going with. Right now, I am in a writing groove, if we want to call it that. And I've been writing up a storm. I've been writing horror. I've been writing sci-fi. I've been writing spiritual, supernatural, because that seems to be my area of where I stay. I don't think I'm a deep horror writer. I touch on aspects of it because I like the supernatural. I also am a very spiritual person. I studied a lot of spirituality, and I love the pantheons of the gods and mythology and all that. And I've started to put all that together into what my writing style is. And that's the whole part of the journey, is we start to figure out what it is we like to write. I know I love to write superheroes. That's always a constant. I find that most of the times I will write the superhero stuff first, or the supernatural stuff, or all of that seems to be like together for me. It doesn't seem like a separate thing. All falls together in the same type of genre for me, at least. I know that it is different places with different people, and maybe you won't like my horror because it's probably not horrorful enough. Or you might think my superhero stuff is really out there. Who knows? But again, I'm writing for me. I'm writing to tell the story that I want to tell, and that's what I've come to the point of understanding, is that I write to tell the story that I want to tell. If you enjoy it, then hey, cool. If you don't enjoy it, then okay, just don't enjoy my style. That's it. I'm not going to say that I'm the greatest writer in the world, but I like writing. I like what I write. Most of the times I will look at a piece or two and go, oh my God, what is this? And of course, there are times, because I am very hypercritical of myself, where I'll write something and I'll be like, this is trash. The funny thing about that is usually when I think it's trash, somebody else will read it and go, oh my God, Ralf, this is amazing. And I'm like, okay. We are our worst critics. We are rough on ourselves, which is why it is always good to actually talk to other people or show your writing to other people, because who knows, you might have written something that somebody really likes. So that's where we are right now. I have a lot of stuff behind me where I can pull from to cover for the shows. I still haven't done Charles People's father, if I remember right. This is this book over here, which is amazing, Edwin A. Peoples. I don't think it's in print, but you can look for it. It's an amazing little book that I'm pulling from. And I'm looking at stuff in here to actually share with you guys. There are a couple of ideas in here that I want to do. I guess it's just sitting down and pulling them off. And of course, I have my own little methods because I enjoy my little mezzets, and they go all over the place back there, and they climb over things. And there's a story happening behind me most times. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's just my daughter changing things around. But I do know that my set tells a story, and if you look back there, you'll find different things and pieces. There right now is, there it goes. The little black book that I did for vocal. I was trying to win a contest. It was like a $25,000 contest or something like that. And I did this little story, which I liked, and I'm probably going to do a second part to it. I like telling stories. It's just something that I'm fascinated with. And it's the reason I created the Written Writ, because I really do feel like everybody likes to tell a story. I don't give them my time. I have shows dealing with them, but they are not nice. If you do a interview they don't like, then you're over. That's pretty much what it is, you know. And again, here at Writ, the Written Writ, here at Bit and Apple TV, we tend to cover. I know that when we go to Comic-Con, a lot of people are like, well, this person so and so was there, and so was there. Why didn't you go and do an interview with them? Everybody's doing an interview with them. I want to go to Comic-Con and I want to find the creators, the independent writers, the independent artists, the independents that are there, because these are amazing stories. You know, the more I read independent comics, the more I'm amazed at how beautiful some of these stories are, how amazing some of these stories are. Tragedy, you know, just reading Phil's script has, you know, it's been beautiful. Rob Powers with Penguino's Revenge, he let me read an early draft of what's coming up, and it is epic. It is amazing. It has Dante's Inferno feel to it. It was just breathtaking. And if you like dragons, there's a dragon in there. So you know I love dragons and phoenixes, because I was always dreaming about them when I was younger, and I still dream about them now, and I see them everywhere. If you saw my post recently, you saw a flashback of seeing them in the sky in the clouds. You know, and that's why I was Dranix on Tumblr. Let's see what we got here, Vincent. He's saying, yep, and he says, my comic book will be out shortly. Oh, I didn't know you were working on one, Vince. You got to come on. Well, I can talk to you about it, but we can figure out how to get you on. You can talk about it. Yes, creating comics, it's been one of my goals for my whole life. Publishing has been another one. I think I'm finally ready to publish. I'm looking at a lot of the poetry I've done, and I'm trying to put them together in a book. And somebody gave me the idea of taking my writ bits, or the written writ bits, and putting them together in a book. So I'll probably put that together and publish it soon. I know that when we finish the live story together, we're going to publish it, because that's the way it should go. You know, and I know you guys want to see your story come to life. I want to see the story come to life. Hey, I already got a detective in there, you know, and I love detectives. So, and he's a supernatural detective. So that even more intensifies my interest. And I love the story that you guys are helping me put together. Let's see. Vince says, I like dragons, Bigfoot, UFOs, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm into all that stuff, Vince. And it's been years of watching Discovery and watching so many shows that delve into all that stuff, as well as reading many books on mythology, many books on supernatural stuff, many books on a lot of things. It's just something. I appreciate that. I really do like the story. I like where the story is going. I like the fact that it's a supernatural detective. I like the fact that we're in a bar that is like a speakeasy. You know, it's being hidden or obfuscated by other means. You know, and I like all that stuff. I like the fact that the bartender is mysterious. He may be a god. He may be a demigod. Who is he? You know, I like all that stuff that's come together for this. I like the fact that you're looking at a relationship between three friends, um, dealing with the ramifications that one of them is dead, how that has affected all three of them, uh, dealing with a child that is kind of mysterious and something's up with that child. There's so many bits and pieces and nooks and crannies to the life story that I'm actually looking forward to having you guys flesh out. And I apologize if I'm saying too much because as you talk, and I try to avoid it. I try to put it in my head because when I was younger, I studied broadcasting, and it's one of those things that you're supposed to take notice of. You're supposed to realize that you're doing and not do it. If I concentrate enough, I can actually avoid using that word. The whole thing is that what you're doing is you're looking for words as you're talking, especially once you don't have like a script that you're working on. It's funny, a lot of people don't realize this, but when you're doing radio, when you're doing TV shows, when you're doing all that stuff, anytime it looks like the chatter of the guests, of the people in charge, of the ones hosting it's all pretty much choreographed, coordinated. They know exactly what they're going to say or have an idea of what they're going to say, so that this way they can stay to the time constraints. And that's why all those shows are able to stay to the time, because somebody's timekeeping, or they understand that you are on for a bit and then you're off. So that means that you can't go on a tangent. You have to make sure that you get done what you need to get done. And awesome. Yeah. I say cool and awesome a lot myself. It's heartfelt, though. I do feel like most of the times, I'm not going to call something cool or awesome if I don't think it's cool or awesome. I can tell you that much. That much I know. And it's I've been in the industry now for a while. What, 5 years since we started the Bit and Apple, and a little bit of time before that with Couch TV before that, and I've noticed all these incredible creative people out there. There's a ton of books that I'm actually going through now that I haven't been able to before because nobody had any time. Especially us, because we were going from show to show to show to show to show. But I am gonna get to them. I'm just gonna start reading them. You already know that I love Tragedy, which is coming out soon. You guys need to check it out. Pinguino is an amazing book with Rob Powers is an incredible artist, and you need to check his stuff out. Both Tragedy and Pinguino's Revenge will be on Kickstarter on May 18th. So you do yourself a favor and check both of those books out and support them, because we need to support the independents. Because if you keep talking about how Marvel and DC are just not getting it, you need to support the independents so Marvel and DC can get it. It sounds weird, but that's how it works. If they see that you're supporting this, then they're going to want to do that. It's as simple as that. Let's see, like Father Like Daughter from Cat. Yeah, Cat Calamari. I always say her name Calamari. Well, Cat. I'll put her name in the description. from Cat, and also like they call her the dancer. Amazing book. I can't say enough about that. As I read the independents, it's let's see, Off Girl. Off Girl is an amazing book as well. It's a superhero whose powers deal on orgasms. You can't get better than that. And the art from Mark is just amazing on it. Mark Ryhow. Yeah, I think if I'm remembering the name right. I'm bad with names. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I am really bad with names. I tend to keep notes so I know who I'm talking to. I know you. I'll remember you, but I am very bad with names. Yeah, so let's see. Off Girl, like Father Like Daughter. They call her the dancer. Pinguino's Revenge. Tragedy, of course. Source Point Press, the guys at Source Point Press, we've been interviewing them for years now, since Garden State Comic Fest. I've seen them grow. They're an amazing company. If you want to support an independent company that's doing amazing things, check out Source Point Press. I like Ben's book. Wow, I really do need to keep these notes next to me. Ben Goldsmith, he does a couple of great books. Casey Pierce, Casey Pierce's Nora is an amazing book. Yeah, there's been so much stuff that I've actually checked out and read, and you guys really do need to check these things out and support the independent, because their stories are amazing. If you're looking for great stories, check out some of these independents. I know that sometimes it's a risk to like look at these independents and take a chance, but I'll help you out. I'll point you towards certain things. I know what my tastes are. Maybe your tastes are different, but support this. This industry is not going to last if we don't support each other. And I find that the more we support each other, the more we rise together. We all should be brothers and sisters. We should all be supporting each other. And sometimes support doesn't mean that you buy something. Sometimes you just spread the word. It's I don't know if you guys understand how helpful it is to spread the word on a project that's happening. Maybe you won't be able to buy that book, but as you spread the word, one of your friends, somebody that you know, they're going to look at it and they're going to be like, "Oh my God, this is amazing. Thank you for sharing that with me." Because that's just the way it is. Sometimes we need to see something, or we need to share something, so that other people can see all the greatness that's out there, all the beautiful stories, all the amazing art. There's so many incredible artists. Take a chance, commission some art from somebody. Look at the beautiful stuff Shadow Rabbit does. He can make your dreams come true in clay form. So commission Shadow Rabbit, commission Son of Saint. His art is just beautiful. He does some great stuff. Check out his versus stuff. I know I'm staying in a certain place. That's because they're the names that are closest to my head. I guess next time, if I don't have a show, and we're talking more about the Writ stuff, I'll come with a list of stuff of people that you should check out. Maybe I'll do a show on that. Yes, he's a great guy. I completely agree with you. And I see that you're going to follow my lead. I appreciate that. And I know you do. I know you share all these great people you find all the time. You will. Yeah, see? You're dyslexic. I am. The funny thing is, I have social anxieties. I have severe depression. It's a chemical imbalance. So, when I jump onto this and I'm doing what I'm doing, it's not usually as easy as I make it look. It's me pushing myself out of my comfort zone. And it's something I do to keep moving forward, which is my motto. No matter what's happening, I will try to keep moving forward. I will keep writing. I will keep doing the things that I remember gave me some kind of joy, because these are the things that I feel help me pull myself out of whatever I'm in. I know it's a tough time for me, especially because I don't get joy out of the things that I used to get joy out of. I'm not sure if you guys understand that, but that's how the depression works sometimes. It takes away from you stuff that you actually enjoyed. What I tend to do is I know what I enjoyed, so I will try to enjoy it, even if I don't feel the enjoyment. But that's just me pushing myself forward. Yeah, I think we've covered everything that I wanted to cover today. We're coming on the 1 hour mark, and I'm really happy you guys have joined me today to check out the show. Vince, I am happy you came in, you talked, you shared your thoughts. I appreciate that. It helped me get through this show today. And you guys, I do this for you guys. I do this for me. Let's just keep helping each other out. If I'm going to leave something with you, it's going to be that. Let's keep helping each other out. Let's keep pushing each other forward. Let's support each other. Help ourselves become better creators, better writers. Just get things out there. I appreciate that, Vince, but I am going to go. It's time for me to try and sleep. Whether it happens or not, we'll find out. But you can see me again next week on Writ Wednesday at 11:35, 11:35, well, 11:30 p.m. every Wednesday at this time. And who knows, maybe I'll come on back on Saturday this week and we'll start discussing the live story again. But you can catch me for sure on Apple Bites at 1 o'clock on Saturday, where we'll have Peace More, the MC great guy himself with all the magnetism and incredible abilities, and Kelly Gordon, and we will be talking MCon. And if you guys have not gone to MCon, you should. It is an amazing experience. With that, I will say this is Writ Ralph signing off. Vince, thanks a lot, and you guys have a good night.